Hello, my name is Kimmy from the Bears Library, and today we're going to be making our DIY Halloween wall hangers. So I'm going to show you what you should have gotten in your bag. So first, you should have gotten 3 of these 4x4 canvas tiles, squares. In a little baggie, you should have gotten 3 different kind of stencils. So you should have gotten a pumpkin one, a little ghost one, and a Frankenstein. And then there's also some different eyeballs in there. I'll show you what those go to after. You should have got a pencil because I traced my stencils onto my canvases, and I'll show you how I did and everything, but just in case if you didn't have a pencil, you never know. Just wanted to be safe than sorry. And then you should have gotten 2 different kinds of paintbrushes, a little ring, a black piece of ribbon. You should have gotten 4 different kind of paint, so you should have green, some white, some orange, and then some black. Okay, so that's all the stuff you should have gotten in your kit. The only things that were not in your kit was a hot glue gun and scissors. The scissors you might not even need, but I'll show you why you would need them later. And the hot glue gun we need to attach our canvases to our ribbon later. So let's get started with how to do the paint. So I'm going to pull you guys down, just don't mind the adjustment for a second. I'm going to put you guys down to face my desk so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, looks good. So you have these 3 canvases. One's going to be a pumpkin, one's going to be a ghost, one's going to be a Frankenstein. So first, there's plastic on these canvases, so just take the plastic off of them. So I took the plastic off this one, I left the plastic on these 2 because these are other ones I don't need. So you're gonna have 3 of these. First, you're gonna paint one orange. You're gonna paint one's gonna be orange. You can paint one white, but you don't really have to because they are white. But I wanted mine more of a pure white, so you have the option to. It's up to you, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to paint it white, don't paint it white. It's up to you. And then your last one should be green. So I'm going to show you from like easiest to hardest on how to paint them. So I repainted mine just so you didn't have to watch me paint for like an hour, and I did some of the smaller details, like I outlined this just so you didn't have to watch me paint for an hour here. So first I'm just going to show you how I did the pumpkin, and I have the pumpkin pretty much completed here, but I just wanted to show you. So this one's pretty much the easiest one. You just put your stencil on your 4x4 canvas. You can, if you really want to, you can tape this and paint it, but it might bleed through and it might not be a perfect line like I have here. So, but that's up to you. It's up to you and how you would like to do your creation, because it is yours. So I took my pencil and I just traced the triangles and the mouth and everything. So this one lines up with this one. And I notice if sometimes it's upside down, it doesn't really matter which way it's facing. So mine faces this way, but it can face this way as well. It doesn't really matter. So you're going to trace your face onto your canvas. After it's painted orange, make sure it's painted orange first, because then you're just going to paint over the lines. Paint it orange, trace your lines, and then you're going to take your smaller brush and you're going to paint the triangles and the mouth right on there. You're going to paint that. That one's pretty simple, pretty easy. The harder ones is the Frankenstein is definitely going to be the hardest because there's a lot more details, but the pumpkin's pretty straightforward and easy. So once you have that done, we're going to move on to our ghost. He is probably the second easiest. He's not too hard from the first one, but this one has some extra eyeballs that were in your bag. So it's kind of optional if you want to add it. For mine, right here, I had some little circles, but I might just paint over that and just make the whole full eye black. But if you like that small detail of the eyeball in the middle, there's these 2 like oval shaped pieces that I cut out as well, and you trace your face on the ghost first. So you trace the mouth and then the 2 eyes, and then you can either take it off or you can keep it on And I think the eyeballs, you can kind of put them the way you want it, but the eyeballs are facing down. So the eyeball should be facing down, just like this one. They both, because you might be confused on which way to insert the eyeball. Get it out, because it's just a circle. If it's you can kind of play with it if you like the eyes to be a little bit more wonky. One's up and one's down. You can do that if you like. It's up to you. You don't have to do the eyeball in the middle, but mine were both facing down, and that's how the template was. But you can make them wonky and like put one eyeball up here and then one down here and make them silly. So that's up to you. So you can paint this white, and then you trace it, and then you paint the face black. Same with this. Same as the pumpkin, basically. If you do leave the eyeballs, just leave them white. So maybe just outline them black. You can add some white paint in the middle if you like, or you can just leave them without any paint. Okay, now we're gonna go to the hard guy here. He's a little bit more detailed and everything. So I'm gonna show you the template and how it works as well. So this one looks shorter than the other ones because it is. I didn't print out a top here because the top is gonna line up with his hair on here. So you're gonna take your canvas and you're gonna paint it green like this one. And then we're gonna trace all the details. So I'm gonna line them up right here just to show you kind of how he's the other way. And same, if the face is the other way, it doesn't really matter. The scar is gonna be on the left side instead of the right side. Doesn't really matter, it's just up to you. So as you can see, it's lined up right here. So I left, this is like his hair, like his kind of like his bangs in his hair, and then you paint the rest of this black. I'll show you what I do later. And then I just traced these as well, but with your brush you kind of just go with it. It's not going to be a perfect thing. See, mine's definitely not perfect. I kind of rushed on it because that was like my first detail I did, but I did a little bit neater on the face. Just got to take your time with the mouth and the scar as well. And then I'll show you how to paint one of these and then the other eyeball. So for this template, you have this other small piece like this that was in your kit, and that goes on the bottom of his eyeball, and it looks a little short. So you can put that on the bottom of his eyeball. There was a little bit of a gap in between, but just ignore the gap and just draw a straight line across right here and the circle. I'm gonna see if I can bring you a little bit closer so I can show you a little bit better. Like I said, the template is right here, and we're just gonna draw a line straight across the top of the small template in a circle, and that's kind of what it's gonna look like here. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to paint kind of most of it. So I'm gonna start with the ghost real quick. I already finished the pumpkin. I'm gonna move you guys back up a little bit. So I already finished the pumpkin, so he was super easy and simple. And I'm a lefty, so hopefully I'll try to go sideways a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to paint the faces a little bit. So I just wanna grab a wipe just in case I get any paint on myself. So I'm just gonna wet my brush because all the brushes are new, so I would just wet them a little bit. And you take the paint that you get in there, there's more than enough paint for everything. I just added a lot. This, I barely even used this much. I used like this much of paint, maybe like a dime size for all of my details. So I don't want the circle in the middle, so I'm just gonna paint this whole thing black. So you just want to be careful around the lines, and you want to be a little bit more tedious and careful as you outline. So I'm going to outline, should have outlined I'm gonna outline first, and then kind of, if I have extra paint, I kind of fill it in. And like I said, if you want the circle, I'll show you how I did the circle with the other one. Trying to be super careful because I want to keep this, so I want to do kind of a good job on it. Maybe I won't paint the whole thing. Because it'll be too wet to put together later. Okay, pretty much done with that. So you decide if you want to outline it first and then fill it in. I kind of do both at the same time. It's up to you, whatever works for you. So I'm going to show you how to do the circle as well. Just go around it, outline the circle, the little circle first, just so you don't go over it. So I'm just outlining the circle. Very carefully. And filling in the rest of the other circles. So it's up to you on if you want the eyeball or not. Kind of make that decision. Maybe this can show you which one you like a little bit better, but it's up to you. Should have played some music, some like calming music during this. Okay, perfect. I'll go and touch up anything else. So that's kind of what it looks like. You can either choose the eyeball or choose not the eyeball. But I just wanted to give you a little heads up on what it looks like. I'm gonna fill it in because I like it better filled in. And then you're just gonna do your mouth as well. So like I said, I outlined everything with black paint and then you kind of just fill it in. So there's your ghost. I have a little extra paint in here. So there's your ghost. Super easy. It's just deciding if you want the eyeball or not. So I have my pumpkin and my ghost all done. And then we're gonna go with Mr. Frankenstein. He's the hardest one. He's very detailed, so I might get super duper quiet when I'm focused. I get really quiet, so don't worry, I'm still here. So like I said, the outline, I outlined the scar and the mouth. This as well, I already have it drawn. I don't know if you can see a little bit, but his eyeball's already drawn for me. I'm gonna fill in his hair as well. Okay, so I'm going to do the white paint first real quick and then do the black, just so my brush will be a little bit more cleaner. So the white part, I'll show you where it goes on your eyes. So it's gonna go, I have some black paint in the middle right here, and the white's gonna go on the bottom of the eyeball, and the top's gonna be black for his eyelids. So I have it already drawn here. Like I said, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll kind of outline it and then I'll show you where exactly it is. So I'm gonna outline the circle. There's a little bit of a tight area here, just be very careful when you're doing it. Let me cover. And a little piece of brush hair poking out. This is very tedious, so just be very careful. kind of locate where the little eyeball in the middle is too. Even if you mess up on the eyeball, we can put paint over it to help it. Okay, so I outlined the part, the bottom part, and I'm going to outline the little circle pupil as well. And it's okay if you get a little bit of white in there because we're going to cover it with black later on anyways. Same with the top if you get some on the top. It's okay. You might want to do a second coat on this. My first one, I didn't do a second coat. And I might go in and fill it in a little bit later. My hand is super shaky right now. Okay, as you can see, I outlined it. It's like a half circle right there. I'm just gonna fill it in. You can always do touch-ups if you like move your brush, you have extra green. I used 1 coat of green. I would advise you to use 2 because I can kind of see some of the streaks on here, but it's not a big deal. But maybe do 2, be kind of judge on what it looks like. You have plenty of paint, so you could do 2 if you wanted to. Okay, so I don't think I need any more white paint, so I'm gonna wash my brush. Make sure my details are good. Okay, I'm gonna wash my brush. Okay, we're gonna go to the black now. So let's move my whites and bring the black. So the top half of the circle is just gonna be black, so I'm gonna outline. Just be careful because the white is still wet, so don't mix it too much. If you wanna wait and work on something else, you can. I'm just gonna outline it for now, and I'm gonna wait to do. I'm gonna wait so I don't get any white mixed up and it will be gray. So I'm gonna go over to, I'll go back to that, and we're gonna go to, I don't know what this is. This part in his face where it has like the thing in his face. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember. So I already have it traced here and it looks kind of like a T. I already painted one of them on this side. And it looks like a T in the side, so I did the other one. So we're just gonna look at the lines and follow it. I advise you to have very good lighting in the room you're doing this in, just so you can see your lines. As you paint. Okay, almost done here. And pretty much done. This one was a lot neater than my other one. Perfect. So I made the little T on this side, a little bit neater than my first one, but that's all right. And now I'm gonna go in and fill in his hair real quick. I'll just do it with this small brush. No, let me get to it. I was gonna do it with the smaller one, but let's just make it easy on everyone. Use my bigger one. There we go. That's a lot easier. Just be careful for dripping paint on the side as well. You can kind of decide. I think I want to, because I painted my edges very green, got some on a little bit at the back, even though you won't really see it. I might go to the side here and paint it black. So if you see it from a side angle, it would still be his hair. Same with the top. I'm going to paint the top black right here. Just because it's his hair, and I like that little bit of a detail. If you look from the side or the top, it's black instead of green, just so it matches up. Okay, perfect. Good. Let's go back to my smaller brush. Get these smaller details. And there's his hair. Okay, so we're gonna come back to this. I'm gonna touch up my little scar here. I did a bad job at his little scar. It's a little messy, but that's okay. So I'm gonna come back to his eyeball. Hopefully I won't touch his hair. I'm gonna come back to his eyeball. I'm just gonna outline by the white. Hopefully my hand will cooperate. Okay, that was pretty good. So I just did the half circle of the black, and now I'm just filling it in. And there is his eyelid. Just gonna touch it up a little bit. And now we're gonna do the middle eye, the pupil in the middle of the eye. So this one's kind of big compared to this one because I think I filled it in on the right eye before. So I'm gonna fill it in. And I kind of like that size, so I'm going to fill the rest in with the white. So I didn't want the full size. So I'm going to finish off with the white. You can either wait on doing this because the black is wet, but I'm gonna be risky here. Okay, that pretty much completes this. I'm just gonna let that dry. Like I said, you can go in with it again and touch up the white to make it a little bit darker. I might do that on my other eye after this video and everything. Okay, so you're gonna let all your pieces dry. If you have a blow dryer, use your blow dryer and let it dry. I'm gonna show you on how to connect the ribbon to it. So you're gonna take your ribbon now. I'm gonna show you guys all the pieces. So you got your little Frankenstein. This is what he's supposed to look like. And you also have the little ghost and the pumpkin. So the pumpkin's pretty much dry because I did it, so I'm going to show you how to attach it to here. And then you'll have to do the other two yourself, but I'll kind of give you an idea on how to do it. So you want to grab your ribbon, and we're going to attach our ring to it. Maybe make a plan and see where you want it and how far spaced you want it. Decide who you want to go first. If you like the pumpkin more, maybe put him on the top. kind of see how you want it spaced out. Decide if you want the bottom. Hold on, I'm gonna bring this in frame. Decide if you want the bottom to show or if you want it to be covered. Just get a game plan first before you just start gluing. And then the ring's gonna be on the top as well. So I think I want my bottom to show a little bit. Actually, no, just kidding. I don't want it to show. So I want it to be kind of just lined up with there. You can make marks with your pencil if you like on the black ribbon. You should be able to see it. Just make sure you hold it down really tight so the ribbon won't move too much. And then kind of figure out how much space you want in between. You can use a ruler if you want to be super accurate with it. You can kind of eyeball it. I'm kind of eyeballing it right now. Can kind of see that, not too much. Oop, that was a fail. And then you also want to, we gotta attach the ring. So we're gonna attach the ring first before we do anything. And since it seems like I have plenty of room, and I'll show you how to do the ring. Okay, so I'm gonna take these away real quick. We're gonna take the ribbon, and if just look at the edge and see if it's frayed. Ooh, sorry, I just hit the thing. I would cut the end of it to make it pretty, and not, if it's frayed, cut it off. If you want it more straight, you could try cutting it off. And we're gonna take our ribbon, and we're gonna attach it to this ring. So basically, we're gonna do this first so we can adjust the ribbon so you can't see the back side where we're gonna glue it so it look a little bit neater. So you're just gonna take the ring, you're gonna take the ribbon and put it in the ring, and you're just gonna fold it down. I don't know if this is making sense or if you can see it. Take the ring, put the ribbon in it, fold it down, and then you just glue it. So kind of figure out how far you want to glue it. Like I said, you have the game, you make kind of the game plan before. I think I can kind of see the lines. I made lines on them, so I'm trying to locate them again. So I'm gonna hold my fingers here and I'm gonna attach some glue. I'll show you a little trick. I'm holding my ribbon to my ring, and my ribbon's attached to my ring. I'm gonna take the end of the ribbon that I'm folding down. I'm gonna put it in between my fingers, just so it can hold it for me as I grab my glue gun. And my glue gun is wireless. I would definitely invest in a wireless glue gun because it is the best. Sorry if my hands are really shaky because the button is really hard to press sometimes. There we go. Put a little bit of glue. Don't put too much. And then we're going to unfold that and push it down. Just be careful, don't burn yourself. You can use your pencil if you want to flatten it a little bit. And I just want to let that dry for a second. And it's going to look like this. So it's attached to here. You can either trim the rest of this or you could just glue it down. I might just trim it a little bit. Got some extra glue here. And then you have your ribbon attached to your ring. Okay, next we're going to attach our canvases. So I want to show you how I attached the pumpkin one. And like I said, we glued the ring on first, so we don't have to, we want to put the side where you can't see the ribbon and where it ends. I might put some more glue right there just so it won't flip up, just to make it a little extra secure. We can get it. Oop. Now it won't flip up. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna add our canvases. So this is gonna go right here. And then we're gonna kind of plan out how we're gonna do this. Make sure you have your plan again. Mark it if you want to try to mark it again, you can mark it again. And I'm gonna show you how to glue this on there. So there's a few ways. So if you do the marks, just mark it with your pencil or a marker, whatever's easiest for you. And then you can put glue on the ribbon and then put it on there. Or we could flip them over. Figure out, put the ribbon upside down where you can see the back seam of it, because you want the right side to be on the right side since we have these flipped over. And you can kind of adjust it there too. Let me try to move this in the frame. So I want the end covered. Try to center it as much as you can. Like I said, you can use a ruler if you really want to get exactly. But I'm not going to worry about the exact measurements. So this is the scary part. You can either put something like on the end of the ribbon to kind of hold it down if you're afraid it's going to move a little bit too much. I'll just put the scissors on there. And we're going to glue our ribbon on. This is like so nerve-wracking. So I'm going to move this away real quick. Put a line of glue. I'm going to hold it above it just to line it up, see where I want it. We're going to push it down. You'll use your finger, but it gets hot, so use a pencil just to push it down so it secures both of the objects. Make sure all your paint is dry too on your canvases. Okay. And let that sit for a second. Just gonna adjust my canvases, make sure I have the length I need. And then I'm gonna do the middle. I did the top and then the middle, and then I'm gonna do the bottom, just in case if I need to adjust the bottom. Should be plenty of room. So we're gonna do the middle next. You can put the canvases a little bit closer if you know where you want. So I'm gonna make sure it's centered. Like I said, this is the most nerve-wracking part because you gotta figure out where to put the glue and everything. So you can also, come on, since these are white in the back, I might put like a little line here. That's where the end of my line is, so I know where to line up the glue. Take the ribbon off. You're gonna put the glue on there. I'm not gonna put the glue because this one's a clear one. You're gonna put the glue on there. Just pretend I have glue on there. I wouldn't directly put it on there, just be careful. Make the ribbon tight and then lay it flat on the canvas and then push it down again. And then lastly, we can do the bottom one, and we are going to do the bottom one just in case if I did the measurements wrong and there's a little bit extra at the end, we can always cut it off if you don't want the extra tab on there. So we're going to line it up. And if you know a better way to do this, this is just how I'm doing it, so please do it the way you want to do it. Don't, if you know a better way, do whatever way you would like, because it is yours, like I said. And lastly, you're gonna lift it, or you can mark it again. Remark it. Lift it. The end of my mark is where my glue will start. I'm gonna glue. Make sure you kind of pull the ribbon tight and then put it flat down on there, and then use your finger or a pencil to flatten it. So I only have one on there because, like I said, these are not for me. But here's the one on there. Mine are still a little wet. I would show you the finished product, but mine are still wet. But I'll post a picture under the comments of this video too when it's all done, and I'll show you my completed look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this craft. Good luck with it. Take your time, have fun, and enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching and participating, and have a good day. Bye bye.